The honourable member for Prince George, Peace River, Northern Rockies.
Got it. Thank you, Madam Speaker. Our Canadian North has had many challenges, and we've heard over the last number of months promises made by the government that they're going to help our northern communities, but it simply hasn't been the case. For example, many of these businesses that operate in the north do this solely by hiring contractors for their labor. Can the minister tell me if the Canada Emergency Business Account will be modified to take the special needs that businesses in the north have into account?
Minister for Small Business.
Thank you, Madam Speaker, and thank you for the honourable member for that question. Absolutely, we are continuing to do the work. We're hearing and listening to businesses all over the country, particularly the businesses who are in the north, and we are continuing to do this work. The work isn't done yet to make sure that businesses get that cash flow support that they need during this difficult period. Thank you.
Honourable member for Prince George, Peace River, Northern Rockies.
Thank you again, Madam Speaker. Many businesses across the north have very different needs than the rest of the country, from short seasonal work to exploration work that doesn't always generate revenue right away. We have made the Minister of Finance aware of these concerns, and now my question: when will the Canadian Emergency Wage Subsidy be amended to consider the needs of the north?
The Honourable Minister of Small Business.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. The Canadian Emergency Wage Subsidy is, of course, available so that we can help keep our businesses and save our jobs. We know that businesses are much better primed for recovery when the business together with their employees are together, which is why we have implemented a program to provide 75% wage subsidy. I want to remind everyone that the wage subsidy is there to help those businesses who have seen a loss in revenue. And for businesses in March, 15%, April and May, a decrease in revenue will mean that you can get access to the emergency wage subsidy.
Honourable member for Prince George, Peace River, Northern Rockies.
Thank you to the Minister for just highlighting the very reason that I'm asking her to fix it, is because our companies don't qualify based on that reason. Airlines in the north are critical for essential needs like food and medications. Can the Minister please tell me what special considerations are being taken to ensure that these northern airlines are able to continue their important work that is specific to so many of these remote communities who rely on them for their very survival?
All business. The Honourable Deputy Prime Minister.
Thank you very much. The member opposite is quite right, and in our conversations with the premiers of the Yukon, the Northwest Territories, and Nunavut, the need to support small northern airlines has absolutely been emphasized. As the member opposite knows, some of these communities are fly-in, fly-out communities and are dependent on airlines for their food. Some of the business operations of those airlines are compromised because of travel restrictions, including the very tight and I would say very admirable restrictions these northern communities have introduced to protect themselves. For that reason, last week we announced a significant support package for the north, in part specifically to support airlines.
The honourable member for Prince George, Peace River, Northern Rockies.
Yeah, you're going to have it by the end of it, eh? For sure. That's okay. It's a long day.
Use the initials.
The U.S. on softwood lumber, but cannot spend or disperse those duties because they are under dispute, as you know. This only creates billions in held-up capital. It also makes it harder for lumber companies to operate, especially in this current situation. If lumber companies fail, then pulp mills will close access to chips at a time when pulp products are needed for both PPE and consumer paper products like toilet paper. Has the government approached the U.S. about releasing this money?
The Honourable Deputy Prime Minister.
I'd like to start by thanking the member for Peace River, Prince George, Northern Rockies for the question. Those duties are indeed a real issue for the industry, and the softwood lumber industry is going through a very difficult time. You're right to point out how much we need it for raw materials for PPE, for toilet paper. It's great Canada produces it. We are in, I would say, very, very regular discussion with the U.S. about our trade dispute, and we continue to win cases. And we are also talking with leaders in the industry about ways that we can support the industry.
Very last question from the member from Prince George, Peace River, Northern Rockies.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. Our defences in the north need to be upgraded, and they need to be upgraded now. The North Warning System is an outdated And experts are also reporting that our long and short-range radars are essentially obsolete. Can the government tell Canadians if there are any plans to modernize this important defense system?
The Honourable Deputy Prime Minister.
That is another excellent question, and one of the things that I would say has been happening in the recent days and weeks as we have been working with our North American partners on the border relationship has been a heightened appreciation on both sides of the border of the extent to which the security of Canada and the United States is dependent on our working together and on our NORAD relationship. So I would say that question is very much on the agenda and is being discussed very positively with our neighbors.